Hey everyone, Shaedow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So we're about to finish exploring the Michael B. Jordan challenge. If you saw my previous video, I went to the last path and then to the boss just to do that initial completion. In this video, I finish off and do all the rest of the paths. So I warn you now, this is a long video and I do not expect anybody to sit there and watch the whole thing unless you just like watching the fights. But the fights are pretty repetitive. They just get a little bit more difficult on each path. That's it. If you want to see how I handle different champions, feel free to skip ahead. Sometimes I got bored and so I just chose a champion that may not be quite as good as another one for that particular encounter, just to have a little bit more fun. Like I switched up my team for this one. This time I brought Blade, Ghost Rider, and Starkey. Yes, the Trinity. And I took Blade in when Ghost Rider died. Yes, he went down a little bit later, but Blade wasn't the best, like for example fighting a bleed immune Black Panther, but he still does okay. And so I did that and it was fun. I use him against Black Widow as well. Of course I bring in Starkey because he is just a lot of fun to play. For a few paths I didn't even touch my Iceman, but then later on I started using him a little bit more, and then of course I used him for the final boss. Now if you saw my last video, I suffered from a lot of lag. And I was wondering whether it was the software, whether it was my phone, whether it was the Kabam servers. I'm not sure, but these videos were made with the iOS recorder. And what I did was, after each path, I would stop the recorder, let it save it, and then start it up again. That way, if it, acted like it sometimes does, I would only lose at most one path worth of footage. But I did not really suffer from any lag during this run. There were a few spots, it seemed like it was just timely, and it got me hit or taken out. But that was maybe once or twice during this entire run. So it might be a combination of the software in my phone. I'm only running an iPhone 5S, so it's old. And it may not be able to handle mirroring both video and audio while I'm trying to play this game. That may tax it beyond what it's comfortable doing. So for right now, I may have to revert back to what I was doing, because this was so much easier without all of that lag that I had to deal with before. So anyway, enjoy the video. I am not about to narrate this entire video. It is 1 hour and some long. I didn't bring Archangel this time. I did want to mention that. Not because he wasn't a beast, just because for this time I wanted to try somebody else. So you saw the team that I went in with. Of course I had to get the Trinity, and then I had to get Iceman, because I love Iceman and he is just awesome. And then I had to bring in Voodoo, and you'll see why. If you saw my last video, you'll know why, but you'll see why when he faces War Machine. I mean, what he does to War Machine should be illegal. Now, although I am not going to keep a running commentary for an hour, I do make some comments on certain fights, like the fight where I lost Ghost Rider. I comment on that. Of course, towards the end of the video, I comment on the boss fight and that sort of thing. And there's a couple of fights, like with Starkey, where he got tagged a couple of times and it irritated me, and I kind of explained a little bit of what happened, that sort of thing. So if you guys want to fast forward, that's fine. You can skip to certain fights if you want to do that as well. But in the end, I hope you enjoy the video and find it educational, helpful. Maybe it'll help you with your own run. So here is where the sadness happens for Ghost Rider. As you can see, I went in without healing up because I had a plan. My plan was to get as many judgments on him as possible and then fire off my heavy and heal all the way back up. That was my goal. I did not quite meet that goal very well. Now you can see here, I am getting my health back very nicely. It's a nice pretty long buff, right? Alright, so he got up pretty decently. But unfortunately, things did not work out. So here's the beginning of the end. He caught me, not sure how. I tried to attack him and he hit me with a special. And so now at this point I'm like, okay, you know what? I can recover from this. So what I'll do is, I'll get some judgments on him, go to my L3, that'll put another judgment on him, and while that judgment is going, I'll fire off the heavy, get a nice long buff, heal all the way back up to full. Okay, so everything seemed to be going pretty well here. I fire off my L3, but I forget this is a stun immune, and it's not so easy to get that heavy off on a stun immune. So I tried to time that, I mistimed that completely and he tagged me. Alright, I tried to do it again, no go. That was completely my fault. I mistimed the first one, then I panicked, tried to get the other one because I was trying to get it before that damnation buff wore off, but it was just too much and it was over with. In cases like that, I actually prefer Wolverine because I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is worry about fighting and let the regen take care of itself. Alright, so bye bye Ghost Rider. May he rest in peace.
Fatality.
So this fight did not go according to plan, let me tell you. So I could have gone in with Iceman or Starkey, but I said, you know what, Blade, let's go with Blade. He's not the best choice for this, but I figured with his regen and, you know, that sort of thing, I should be okay. But for one, I forgot how to fight this Falcon. We just finished fighting him with an unblockable special 1, but I was out of practice. Okay, so I started to do this okay. As you saw there, I waited until he almost had the first bar. Then I pushed him past to the second because his second special is so much easier to evade. But there's another reason to do that, and you'll see that in this fight. Even taking blocked hits from his special 1 really hurts Blade. I don't think Blade's block proficiency is good at all. And I messed up, and you guys will see what happens. Alright, so in a minute you're going to see Blade take a lot of blocked damage. And I want you to notice the Fury buff on Falcon. Notice that it's going up. That's because I'm playing too passively. Look at that damage. You do not want to play passively. And of course now, I'm not going to have enough to take that special 1. So that is what happened. I decided to play a little bit more passively. I completely forgot about that node buff. And he just racked up that Fury, and his damage ramped up considerably. So let that be a cautionary tale. Keep on attacking. Do not allow that Fury buff to stack high. So up to this point, things have been going relatively smoothly. You know, I've lost Ghost Rider through my own, you know, panicky responses. But other than that and a few spots of lag, it's been going fairly well. You know, I healed up Starkey here to just a little bit above half and went in to have myself a little fun. And I had to deal with a little bit of shenanigans that kind of irritated me, but it's something that happens pretty often. So normally you want to build up your poise charges with Starkey. So as you can see, I try to evade. Now watch what happens here. Okay, now I want you to understand what happened. I swiped back to evade like I normally do. It did not evade. Instead, I took a blocked hit. However, since I was trying to double and triple evade, I was no longer blocking. So the first evade, no go. Then, after that was a blocked hit, he then proceeded to hit me because I was no longer blocking, I was trying to evade. I am getting very convinced that it is the challenger rating that is causing a lot of these glitches. I don't know what they thought they were doing when they introduced that sort of thing. I remember when I read it, I didn't like it at all. It sounded more like a cheat code for Kabam. But what I think is happening with the challenger rating is that it is shutting down some of our abilities. You know, if you remove your dexterity and you have no points in the dexterity mastery and you encounter that particular situation, that is exactly what will happen. You'll go to evade, but you don't have dexterity, so you're not going to evade. You'll most likely take a block, hit, and then you're going to get hit unless you block very, very quickly. So I could be wrong. I don't know of any way to really test it or to find out, but it is what it is. It kind of irritated me when that happened, and then I proceeded to beat Iron Man like he stole something. Alright, so we finally got to the end boss here. And if you watched my last video, you will remember that when I went in with Voodoo, it didn't go so well. So this time, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go in with Voodoo again, and I'm going to redeem Voodoo. Because Voodoo is awesome. And even though I don't fight well with stun immune, I figured, you know, if I can just get those poisons, I didn't get to do the poisons the last time. So I said, alright, this time I'm going to get the poisons. I'm not going to try to evade his special one like I did the last time. This time, I'm going to get that poison on him.
Humiliating defeat.
And then that happened. I can tell you guys, all I did was laugh. I could only laugh at myself. Because even with all of that, I still ended up doing the same thing with Voodoo. I don't know why. If I fought with Voodoo like I fought with these other guys, it wouldn't be as much of a problem. But I don't know. Anyway, so I healed up Iceman a little bit, and I still have tons of level 2 and level 1 health potions in my stash, so I'm trying to use these guys up before they expire. And as you will see, Iceman is more than a match. I made a mistake or two during the fight, but was able to recover, so enjoy the rest of this fight. So coming up here is one of the mistakes that I was talking to you about earlier. Now, I hit him with my L2, so that drops my ice armor. So the worst time for me to get hit with his special one would be right now.
Look out!
And that's exactly what happened. With my ice armor down, I took a special one, but of course, he is immune to bleed, so he did not bleed out. And his block proficiency is pretty good, so it didn't take him out straight away. Anyway, he goes on and is able to take down the Black Panther.
Finish him.
And that's gonna do it, guys. If you liked the video, please consider smashing that like button. Really helps me out. If you have not subscribed already, please consider giving me a subscription. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video. Give me some of your experiences with this challenge. Did you find it easy? Did you take in 4 stars? Did you blitz through it with some rank 4, 5 stars? How did you find the challenge? And you guys have a blessed day.